Happy Monday. I'm going to go live everywhere. Say hi. Let me know if you're watching me live or you're watching the replay. Um, okay, here we go. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's Monday morning style session. A couple of things before I get started. First of all, let me know if you're watching me live or watching me in the replay. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all the things, because you never know with technology. But it's also cold. It's cold for us. It's cold for us. It's in the 50s and really breezy today in Florida. So I am wearing a cozy sweater and excited to talk to you guys about how to pack like a stylist and how kicking off travel week with you today. But before I get started, a couple of quick things. This is the last live Monday morning style session of 2025. The last two style sessions of the year are going to be pre-recorded. So if you're having a hard time finding them on Facebook, go on over to YouTube. They will be scheduled on YouTube to go live. Good morning. Good morning. So that you'll be able to see them on YouTube if you can't see them on Facebook. But there will be Monday morning style sessions the next 2 Mondays. All my regular content will go out. I just will not be live because I will be gone on a trip. We leave on Thursday. If you're not following me on Instagram, I would definitely recommend following me on Instagram so that you can see, I'll be sharing about the trip, but I'll also be sharing about packing and kind of getting ready for the trip and all of that, which is the whole topic of this week. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good to see you guys. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to pack like a stylist. I'm going to be sharing tips all week about travel. But honestly, even if you're not a traveler, a lot of these tips are going to be helpful when you're talking about curating a wardrobe, when you're talking about creating outfits, even in terms of like tomorrow's video is on 10 travel, like really chic travel outfits. Those are just great outfit formulas for everyday life when you want to be comfortable and you want practical outfits. So travel outfits are really just outfits that are comfortable for the long haul and are practical. So watch that video, even if you don't have any trips planned. Good to see you. Hi, Carol, Cindy, Pam, Elaine, Paulette. Nice to see everybody. Okay, so I want to get started talking about how to pack like a stylist. Now, I will tell you, as a recovering, ridiculous overpacker, it has taken me a long time to come up with a system. And now I have a system that I use and that my clients have used for years. One of my clients recently went, I think her trip was like 66 days, and she took just a couple of clusters on her trip and had multiple great combinations. She went across different like climates, different different temperatures, different activities with just a couple of clusters. This is a system that works and it's been proven over and over again. I have been using it with clients for over 10 years, and it can help you regardless of how much of an overpacker you think you are or how bad of a packer that you think you are. So let me get started. The first thing I want to talk about is packing a plane kit. I think it's really important to take those things that you feel like not just that you're going to need on the plane, but that you might need immediately when you get to your location. Let's face it, luggage gets delayed. And when we flew up to Chicago in March, I divided my items and my daughter's items among the two suitcases that we had because the suitcases were going on separate. There were four of us and we took three different flights. So my daughter came separately. My husband went ahead of us. And so I spread our stuff across the different bags, and that saved us because the bag for the two of us that flew in the middle was delayed, and we were able to still have clothes and still have some necessities out of the other suitcases. So I'm just going to say sometimes it's really important to think about not just what you need on the flight, but what will you need if your bag is delayed. So let me tell you what kind of goes into my plane kit, because I think it took me a while again I used to overpack for the plane kit. I would pack like a full makeup kit. I'd pack a jewelry kit. I'd pack like a whole spa package. Like it was just a little over the top, and I didn't end up using half that stuff. But the things that I have kind of narrowed it down to that I feel like are really, really essential, I'm going to share that with you. Okay, so the first thing is, I pack some toiletries. I pack lip balm. I pack a really nice, rich moisturizer. I pack like a healthy hand sanitizer. I really like the one from Trader Joe's. It's a spray. It smells like lavender. It kind of doubles as a little refresher. And then I pack, any medications that I need, my allergy medicine, my migraine medicine. I pack a little peppermint roller ball for my head. And then I pack a little aromatherapy roller for, flight stress, because I am a nervous traveler. I'm a nervous flyer. If there is turbulence on a flight, I get a little nervous. So I pack that for relaxing. I pack a scarf that doubles as a wrap. So it's a cashmere wrap. I use it as a blanket on the plane. I use it as a scarf at my destination. This is something that I have been using forever. I just love having like a cashmere wrap scarf thing, because everything in my luggage needs to do double duty. I also pack a coat or jacket or some kind of cozy outer layer, because planes and flights are always, always cold. Of course, pack all your tech. And then, I put all of my plane essentials only in a little small zip pouch. Often this pouch will go from the carry-on to the bag that I'm carrying around my destination. If it's something you're going to reach for on the trip, obviously it needs to be in that bag. Now, I have a full breakdown of everything, including the bags that I use and all of that in the videos this week. But I do want to say that my go-to carry-on of choice is a leather tote bag. So I like it because I feel like it's chic. It's something I can use at my destination, and it's something I can use on my flight. Okay, next I want to talk about packing cubes and how I choose to use packing cubes. Do I think packing cubes are a necessity? I do not. I do not think they're a necessity, but I do think that they can help keep you organized. And if you struggle with organization on your trip, consider packing cubes. I have several now I've acquired. I have some that came with my level 8 luggage. The luggage that I have, I got some from Quince. I have some that I've picked up at Marshall's, and I enjoy them all. So I like to have packing cubes, not by outfit. I like to pack by category. So tops in one packing cube or a couple of packing cubes, bottoms. I really, really feel like they are the most useful for smaller things like underwear, like socks. I like to have PJs in one, shapewear, accessories, all of those little things that can get lost around your luggage. I love to have packing cubes for that. And then I designate a packing cube for like dirty laundry for, as we use things on the trip. Okay. That laundry packing cube is really, really essential. I also like to bring a couple of laundry essentials with me on a trip, and I'll talk about what those are in a second. Next, I want to talk about packing for the weather. I'm packing for a trip to Europe where it's going to be really, really cold. So one of the things that's really important is to make sure that you have enough base layers and you have enough just warm, cozy things for whatever it is you're doing. So I just found out last night from my husband that we're going to be doing something called sledding in the snow. We are not a snow. I mean, I live in Florida. So he was like, oh yeah, you're going to need, by the way, 3 days before our trip, you're going to need snow pants and like boots that are really waterproof and waterproof gloves. So I was on Amazon last night and texting my skiing friends, getting some of those things together because that's a one-off item. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is packing your outliers. So outliers are the things that you're going to only use one time on a trip, but they're really important. So generally, you're talking about like if you're doing a special active activity on the trip, like maybe you're otherwise you're sightseeing, but you're going to be swimming one day, or you're going to be cliff diving into the water, or you're going to be snorkeling, or you're going to be skiing or sledding like we're doing. Something that is where the dress code for that activity is very outside of what you're taking for the rest of the trip. So that's an outlier. The other type of outlier is the dressiest outfit you're going to be able to wear. So good morning, happy Monday. So the outliers are going to be, again, an active outfit that you'll only use once or twice on a trip, and then the dressiest outfit. So for example, if you're going on a cruise and you've got a formal night, your dressiest outfit is going to be your outlier. And then your most casual, something that you maybe brought for the one hiking excursion that you're doing, that's going to be another outlier. All the rest of the outfits are going to fall into that middle cluster or clusters that you're packing for the trip that I generally recommend are the smart casual clusters. So I pack smart casual for all of my trips except for the outliers. The outliers being the dressiest and the most active or the most casual things that we're taking. Um, okay. I also really believe that it's important to have an airport outfit formula. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm talking about 10 travel outfits that are chic. I'm going to encourage you to watch that video, even if you're not traveling, because these are outfits that are practical and comfortable, which is what we're looking for in everyday outfits. But when you're looking at what you're wearing on a plane, I always take my bulkiest things onto the plane with me because I do not want to put them in my suitcase. So I wear my bulkiest shoes. Ideally, they're slip on and slip off. So a pair of boots that you can slip on and slip off are perfect for a plane. You don't want to pack those boots; they take up a lot of space. And then I pack, my coat, my jacket, or I take my coat, my jacket on the plane with me because first of all, planes are cold, and second of all, I don't want to put those in the suitcase. And I'm going to need them as soon as I get there if I'm traveling in cold weather. So the bulkiest items come on the plane with me. Now, I also say I think it's really important to have like a separate little jewelry travel case. I used to take a ton of jewelry with me on my trip. I do not. It's a safety thing. And also, like, our jewelry has gotten a lot more streamlined over the years. I think I always used to have jewelry that went with every outfit. And now I have jewelry that goes with a lot of different outfits. So I'll pack I'll pack a statement and a subtle piece in most categories. So that's my little tip with travel with jewelry. So a statement piece of, a statement earring, and then maybe a more subtle earring, a statement necklace and a more subtle necklace, a statement bracelet and a more subtle bracelet. You don't have to pack that in all the categories, but that's kind of like, some outfits I feel like I just want something simple and basic, and other outfits I feel like I need a little bit more interest. Like the evening outfits, I want to add maybe a statement piece of jewelry. The daytime outfits, I want to keep it simple. I put everything in one small little jewelry case, and that's just an easy way to access it. Access it when you get to your destination. Okay, let's talk about rolling versus folding. I like to roll like knits, and I like to fold structured pieces. I am not going to be folding or rolling my blazer into a little cylinder. I'm just not going to be doing that with structured pieces like that. But with knits, I absolutely roll them, and then I put them in the packing cubes. So on this trip, we're taking a lot of underlayers. We're taking like long t-shirts and leggings that we can wear under our clothes because we need to be cozy. And then of course things like PJs, knit sweaters, things like that. Those can all be rolled. And I do believe that when you roll those pieces, they become a lot easier to see. You don't have to rifle through everything in order to find what you're looking for. Okay. I also like to have shoe bags. What I generally do is I hold on to the bags that come with the shoes when I buy them. And I just use those bags to put the shoes in my suitcase. Um, Yay, you're packing for your cruise in January. Awesome, awesome. Yay. So I keep the bags from the shoes, and I reuse those bags over and over again as I travel. And I put my shoes for the trip in that. So I always pack 3 pairs of shoes. This is my rule. There is like a sneaker, a really, really comfortable running around shoe. There is a versatile shoe that you can dress up or down. That can be a flat, that can be a little slingback. For many of us, that's going to be something like a ballet flat or a loafer, something that looks good in a variety of settings. And then the last shoe that I like to pack is something a little bit dressier for dinners. Again, if you're going on a cruise, maybe it's going to be a flip-flop or a sandal. It's going to be a cute pair of flats, and then it's going to be a heel for the formal dinner. If you're going on a trip like the one I'm going on, I'm taking my Adidas Sambas, and I'm taking a dressy pair of boots, and I'm taking a casual pair of boots because that's the climate that we're going to. But the rule of threes really helps me with shoes because I used to like to pack shoes for every outfit. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I was the most chronic overpacker. I have been known to pack a suitcase just for shoes. But the last 10 years or so, I've gotten this down to a system. I've gotten this down to a science. And the reason I'm telling you, I'm admitting that I packed a suitcase just for shoes is so that you know that there is hope for anybody, no matter how much of an overpacker you are. Okay. I also like to have my outfits planned, and I pack in clusters, not in outfits. So this is the way that I do it. I pack a cluster per week of my trip. So a cluster is 3 tops, 2 bottoms, a jacket, and a dress. So for this trip, which is almost 2 weeks, I'm packing 2 clusters. So again, 3 tops, 2 bottoms, a jacket, and a dress. Now, because if you plan a cluster well, everything is going to go with everything else, you can know that you are going to be able to reach for any top and any bottom and get a good combination. However, I still like to create an outfit calendar and plan my outfits by day. I don't want to be rifling around in a dimly lit hotel room trying to find an outfit for that day. I don't want to add stress to something that's supposed to be fun and relaxing. So I like to do both. I like to create the clusters, and then I like to create the combinations within the clusters and then designate an outfit for every day of my trip. Because I want to be able to think about what I'm doing that day and how I can best dress for that day, both for comfort and practicality, but also for style. I want to feel really, really cute on the days I'm running around and doing some fun aesthetic shopping. I want to feel really comfortable on the days when I'm, sightseeing. I want to make sure that my outfits work for what that day brings. Okay. I also think it's really important to pack a little pouch that you're going to carry around with you at your destination. I like to make sure I have things like tissue, like gum, like lip balm, like a little hand cream, like my headache medicine, whatever those essentials are. I pack a little separate little case that I'm going to put in my crossbody bag that I'm taking around with me on the trip, and I keep those things in there. I do not move them from one place to another. Like that hand cream stays there. I don't put it in my travel kit. I want to make sure I'm not without the things I really need. I have been stuck without my essentials one too many times. So now I pre-pack all of that stuff. Okay, let's talk about maintaining your clothes on the road, because I think this is really important. I talked already about rolling knits and folding structured pieces. Again, I do use packing cubes. I think they are optional, but I really like them for containing smaller things like underwear, like pajamas, like socks, like accessories, all those things. I like to take a travel steamer with me. You can't always count on there being an iron where you're at, and travel steamers are small and portable, and I feel like they are super, super helpful. Clusters are great for daily wear. Absolutely. I use clusters in every area of my life, but they really shine when you're updating your wardrobe for a season, when you're transitioning between sizes, and when you are like if we're going into spring and summer, eventually you want to talk about what you want to wear for, what you want to update your wardrobe with for spring, summer. Consider starting with a cluster. You're going to get a lot of mileage out of a cluster for the season, and you can really focus your shopping for the season using a cluster. Again, if you're transitioning between sizes, transitioning between different lifestyles, if you are moving from one area to another, clusters are a fabulous just kind of wardrobe tool to use. But today I'm specifically talking about travel, and if you master clusters for travel, you will be able to use that in every area of your life. Okay, talking about packing, taking care of your wardrobe while you're on the road. There are a couple of things I absolutely rely on, and I absolutely insist on having with me. A steamer, again, so that you can steam clothes while you're on the road. I don't always count on there being an iron where I go, and a steamer is much faster. I also really like to take a wrinkle releasing spray. There's a brand called Poet that makes a really, really nice one. And then there's a brand called Laundress that I use a lot of Laundress products. You can get the Laundress one on Amazon. I have that link below this video. It's a fabric refresher spray with some wrinkle releasing properties. That's what Poet does as well. I love these because, again, it allows you to rewear things. It refreshes your clothes, and it also removes some of the wrinkles. These work really, really well. And, you may find that this is all you need, and you can even skip the steamer. The other things that I take for wardrobe maintenance when I'm on the road, I take the little stain removing wipes or stain removing stick with me. Those are super, super helpful to have on the road. And then the other thing I like to take is my laundry strips. You can also, bring laundry pods. Obviously, we're not going to bring a big leaky bottle of laundry detergent, but laundry strips and laundry pods travel really well if you're going to be in a position where you're able to do a little bit of laundry on the road. Would it make sense to substitute a pullover sweater for the jacket in your travel cluster? Yes, it can totally make sense to just make sure if you are, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. But I'll bump this up to this part. Consider what the bookends of your outfits are going to be. The bookends are your shoes, your outer layer, and your bag. Your outer layer, like Becky was asking, does it make sense to have a pullover sweater instead of a jacket on a trip? Your outer layer needs to go with everything on your trip. If you're going to be wearing it with everything on your trip. So if you're going on a winter trip, you want to make sure your coat goes with everything you're wearing. If you're going to go on a summer trip, you want to make sure your lightweight jacket or your pullover sweater goes with everything that you're wearing. So keep that in mind, that your your bookends, your bag, your shoes, and your jacket or coat need to go with all of your outfits. Okay, I also want to talk about how it's really important that you do not pack any random fantasy items. One of the things I think that many of us do, and one of the things I would do, is like, oh, I never have an opportunity to wear this highly uncomfortable, fussy, and difficult to style item. Let me take it with me on my trip where I'll have so much more time, and I'll want to wear something that is uncomfortable, fussy, and difficult to style. That has never happened. That has never happened. If you do not wear an item in your real life because it's impossible, like items that are hard to style, are uncomfortable, you put them on and you find yourself taking them off, first of all, I would encourage you to purge those items from your closet. But if you find you're not reaching for those items in your regular, in your, when you have opportunities in your regular everyday life and you have all the resources at your disposal, all the comforts of home, you're not going to style that item on your trip. You're not going to style that item on your trip. So be really intentional. And this is one of the reasons I really lean into creating an outfit calendar. Monday, I'm wearing this. Tuesday, I'm wearing this. Wednesday, I'm wearing this. Can I switch when I get there? Absolutely. If circumstances or weather changes, I can switch my outfits. However, having those pre-designed outfits allows me to very quickly and immediately see what does not need to be packed. What is a fantasy item that I'm just dreaming I'm going to get to wear and I'm not really ever going to get to wear. This is why having an idea of what those outfits are is really, really, really important. Okay, so I'm going to say that as much as we want to take all of our favorites, and yes, you can take your current favorites in whatever category you genuinely need to pack for your trip. Nothing should be an outlier in the sense that it doesn't go with anything else in your wardrobe, with the exception of, like, a dress for a special event, or a casual outfit for like an active activity. You do not want one-off items that do not go with the rest of your clusters. You do not want items that you're going to have to build the rest of your wardrobe around. Those are going to stress you out at your destination, and you're going to find that they clog up your suitcase. You end up taking a lot more than you need, and of course, they end up not being as versatile. Okay, I talked about bookends. I talked about outliers. I think that every single outfit, ideally, yes, I do. I mean, I do. I will tell you, the very first time I used an outfit calendar was when we went to Scotland in 2022. That was the happiest I had ever been up until that point with any travel wardrobe. I loved every single one of my outfits. I felt dressed for every occasion. I had everything I needed. I felt polished. I felt like I had my act together for the first time ever on a trip. And as someone who has always struggled with that level of organization, this was a game changer for me. So you start with a cluster, one cluster per week of your trip, and then you create outfits based on your itinerary. So that's the next thing I want to talk about is that you are going to look at your itinerary when you are planning your clusters. So I always, when I'm helping a client pack for a trip, I always ask them for their itinerary. And then I know what they're doing. First of all, you identify the outliers. What is the most casual, active thing that you're going to be doing? And then what is the dressiest thing that you're going to be doing? And then you pack smart casual outfits, smart casual clusters for the rest of the trip. And then you've got everything covered. And you're not going to leave anything up to chance when you use the system. Start with your itinerary, pack a cluster a week, consider what your outliers are, and then finally consider what your bookends are. Your bookends being your shoes, your bag, your coat. That's going to take you through the entire kind of process of curating your wardrobe for a trip, which is what you're doing when you're packing. Many of us wish that we had our entire closets with us, but I will tell you, if you can master getting stylishly dressed with fewer items, you are going to find that it spills over into other areas of your life, and you really are going to be able to maximize your regular everyday wardrobe. Finally, I want to talk about travel outfits. And then, because I think travel outfits are really, okay, how many bags? That's a good question. I I like to take a suitcase and a carry-on. I am not a carry-on only traveler. However, many of my clients are carry-on only travelers. And the great thing about a cluster is that you can generally, unless it's a really bulky winter cluster, you can fit it into a carry-on if you choose to pack only carry-ons. Since there are 4 of us going, we're taking 2 suitcases. And then we're each going to have like a personal item, like, that we're taking on the plane. So generally, we do a suitcase for every 2 people. And this is from someone who used to take 2 or 3 suitcases just for me. So I'm telling you, I've come a long way. I've fought hard to learn how to do this, and that's why I'm imparting this all for you. And again, this is why I now I help other women. I never thought I would help other women pack and not underpack, but pack, in a streamlined way, because I was such an overpacker. So if I can do it, and my clients who also are overpackers can do it, you can definitely do it. Okay, let's talk about your travel outfit really fast. Tomorrow I'm going to have 10 polished travel outfits, but there are a couple ways to approach a travel outfit. You can have a travel outfit that you just wear on your trip there and on your trip back. That's generally what I've done. But I also like to make sure that some of the items in my travel outfits also work with the rest of my clusters. So your travel outfits, you can decide whether your travel outfit is going to be an outlier. In other words, you're just wearing it to travel. It's not going to cross over into the rest of your travel wardrobe. Or you can decide whether you want the travel outfit to also be versatile across different clusters for your trip. So for this upcoming trip I'm doing, I packed the travel outfit that I'm wearing is going to work with the clusters that I'm bringing on the trip. And so it's going to give me more options. So I think it's really important that you have a travel outfit that is intentional and you feel really, really stylish in. I used to pack beautifully for my trips, and then my travel outfit was whatever, and I would look around me at the airport and I'd be like, "Oh, that person looks so cute. That person looks so cute," as they travel. Recently the Department of Transportation said, let's focus on dressing for our flights again. Like, let's not show up in PJs or look like we just rolled out of bed. I think it's really important that you look and feel good at an airport. You want to look good and you want to feel good, and on a flight, and that requires you to plan a travel outfit in the same way you plan any other outfit. So that is it. I have a lot on travel this week. Tomorrow, it's 10 stylish travel outfits. Again, I would encourage you to watch that video, even if you're not going anywhere, because travel outfits are just outfits that are comfortable and practical. That works for anybody, anytime. And then on Friday, I'm sharing my actual travel cluster for Europe. Follow me on Instagram. Again, I'm going to be showing you as my girls and I pack our suitcases. My whole travel wardrobe is already curated on a styling rack back there. And that is how I plan for my trip. I put everything on a styling rack. I evaluate it throughout the period leading up to the trip. I look at it, I reconsider, I take something off, I put something on. And then I don't need to fold it up and put it in a bag until the day before we leave, because I don't want all my clothes wrinkled. I want to be able to evaluate my wardrobe, make sure I have everything I need, make sure everything is ready. And I assemble everything, a few days in advance, and then I pack it up, shortly before I leave. Those of you who like to pack 2-3 weeks before a trip, your clothes are going to get wrinkled and you're going to forget what you're bringing unless you've photographed everything well, unless you've really used the system. So that's the way that I do it. I hope that you enjoy. I'm going to have a ton of tips this week. Again, these concepts are concepts you can use on any type of trip, but you can also use them in your everyday life, in your regular life. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I hope that you enjoy the videos that I have coming up this week. And I have all my regularly scheduled content going out as I'm gone on my trip. So thank you so much. Yes, definitely give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow on YouTube. Mwah!